Thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Yesterday we were all talking about it. The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, had resigned, and so we were going to be looking for, a replacement. But then, dare I say, typically, the president has just turned around, flipped on a dime, and has nominated General Christopher Musa, retired, as his proposal for the new Minister of Defense. In a letter that he sent to the Senate, he expressed his full confidence in General Musa's capacity to lead the Defense Ministry at a critical juncture. And that is exactly the way to describe our situation in Nigeria. But many people feel that this is a round peg in a round hole, and if you want the square variant, a square peg in a square hole. Our guest will be Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi, Executive Director, Patriot for Advancement of Peace and Social Development. That will be a little later, but for now, here's a report, to get things rolling.
During his leadership, the armed forces intensified counter-terrorism actions across theaters of operations from the northeast to the northwest, degrading insurgents' capabilities and disrupting bandits and terrorist networks. Under his command, troops' morale improved significantly, backed by stronger welfare initiatives, frontline support, improved logistics supply, and a ramp-up in indigenous equipment deployment. Service commanders credit his leadership style for empowering field officers and enabling faster, intelligence-driven responses to threats. General Musa also championed collaboration with regional and international partners, including renewed intelligence synergy within the Lake Chad Basin Commission and deeper engagements with ECOWAS and allied military platforms. His advocacy for modernization of defense systems and local defense manufacturing, particularly in armory, drones, and tactical mobility, earned recognition from defense stakeholders. As he transitions from service command to policy leadership, expectations are high. By moving from battlefield leadership to defense policy making, General Christopher Musa's nomination suggests continuity, a signal that operational experience will now inform national defense policy at the ministerial level. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, indeed. So there you have it. Interestingly, most Nigerians, well, maybe one should be careful how one couches that, but a lot of Nigerians, I think I feel safer there, had suggested earlier that General Christopher Musa, retired, was a soldier and a perfect match for the job. So these suggestions had been made even as early as yesterday. Guests on the program were making this suggestion on all over the news, on social media. These were suggestions that were being made. Now, there's a sense in which you can say that President Tunibu has his finger on the pulse of the nation, so to speak. Now, I'm not saying that it was as a result of all of that that the president, has made his choice, but there is some sort of connection with the people, because the way the people seem to have been thinking is very much aligned. Is it the people that are in tune with the president, or the president that is in tune with the people? But that's what we did have. So we'll just wait a moment, and in fact, the phone lines are on now. There's precious little to say about this. General Musa is a man who requires very little introduction. He has a sterling career, just everybody seems to agree with him. In fact, his work is cut out for him, because I hope we won't have the situation where people, respect the man so very much that I hope they don't begin to think that he can do magic, because that's one of the difficulties that come with being very popularly put in high regard. So we'll just put on the phones. You can call in if you can. If you can call us. But in the meantime, Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi, Executive Director, Patriots for Advancement of Peace and Social Development, is in the house now. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Good morning, Chief Yori. I salute you.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll just manage it. I'm yet to achieve that height. I'll manage it. Thank you very much. Your first thoughts on what I dare say is something of a popular nomination by the president, going by the news and social media. What was your impression too?
Yeah, following the resignation of Badru Abakar,
yes,
the Minister of Defense, Mr. President nominated the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, to replace Badru as a Minister of Defense. This is a welcome development. It was highly celebrated across Nigeria, most especially in the northern extraction, because of his track record. People know his antecedent. People know that he's a very professional and gallant soldier. And somebody to occupy a position of Minister of State of Defense supposed to have a military and security background with a vast experience. So looking at the rich profile and the CV of the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, I think he's fit for that position. Looking at his military career as somebody who has been a head of command of theater, Hadinkai, and somebody who has experience in fight against terrorism, armed banditry, and also an infantry soldier. Somebody who served in the Nigerian military for 34 years in service. Mm-hmm. So I think he's fit for that position, and the Mr. President will do everything humanly possible to abolish the office of Minister of State for Defense and allow him to carry out the national assignment as a very experienced, very courageous, very disciplined, and somebody who has a very versatile experience in the fight against terrorism in the Northeast. And let me refresh your memory. Christopher Musa, this is primary school and secondary school in Sokoto State. And in all Sokoto State, so he's well experienced, the topography and geographical location of the old Sokoto State, that is KB, Zamfara, and also the Sokoto State. So I think he's from Northwest. Since he's from Northwest, and also he has the experience and the fight against terrorism in the Northeast, and this is where, for the first 1.5 decades, this is the cankerworm in terms of the insecurity, terrorism, armed banditry, cattle rustling, and all kinds of criminality. He is equal to the tax.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much. Chief of Defense Staff was his last posting before his retirement. And in fact, someone was saying, is this the first time that we have someone coming from that office to coming into policy, civilian policy domain as the Minister of Defense? It's because some people were even confused. Say, wait a minute, which Christopher Musa is this? Can it be the Chief of Defense Staff? So it's something of a, is it unique in your memory?
He is not the first. He's not the first general or lieutenant general to hold a position of Minister of Defense.
No, Chief of Defense Staff.
Juma was a Minister of Defense during the Obasanjo regime.
That's right.
And General Ali Gusa was a lieutenant general, was also a Minister of Defense during Jonathan regime. Mm-hmm. And General Ang Ali and Major General Magashi was also a military officer, and they held that position. So it is not that today, or it is not a new tradition that Tunibu appointed a retired general to occupy the office of the Minister of Defense. So he has the experience, he has the educational background, he has the qualification and the professionality to steer the national security of this country.
Let's hand it to the president, quite nimble on his feet. He must have arrived at that decision of his within hours of understanding that the former Minister of Defense had to leave due to health considerations, as was said. I remember that this was the way the president perhaps surprised some when he also had to replace the head of INEC. And just as people were thinking that, the former head of INEC had said that he was, beginning the process about a fortnight in advance so as to give the authorities the time to find a replacement. The words had barely dropped from his lips before the president had sent notice that he actually had a person ready. So there's something, would you say, I think the president has his finger on this security challenge issue.
You see, following the declaration of the national security emergency by Mr. President last week, this is the right time and also at the right direction. There is need for Mr. President to overhaul the security architecture of the country because of the problem we're having at hand. If you look at the previous weeks, there are a series of killings, abduction of schools girls, imposition of taxes and levy, cattle rustling across the northern Nigeria, even oil theft, even in the western part of the country, in the south. So this is the right direction. Let me also draw your attention to section 14, section 2. The primary responsibility of every government is to provide security of lives and property and welfare of its people. So Mr. President have done this nomination of Christopher Musa at the right time, at the right direction. The only challenge Mr. President has, that is to abolish the office of Minister of State, to hand over all the issue of national security to very experienced and versatile General Christopher Musa. Because looking at the Minister of State for Defense, he doesn't have any military background, he doesn't have any security experience, and there's a general impression or call for his resignation or Mr. President to remove the Minister of State for Defense. So for image saving of the government Mr. President need to act and abolish the office of Minister of State and allow the new nominee to take the charge of Minister of Defense for national security, and people will have confidence in the government.
Okay, I was.
And it will be an image saving.
Okay, I was going to ask why you seemed to be counseling the scrapping of the Office of Minister of State, but then you went ahead and gave answers to you've just explained that you don't think he has what it takes to be Minister of State. So how do these appointments come to be made?
No, you see, it is discretionary power of Mr. President to appoint ministers across the 36 states, including FCT. So minister has such discretionary power as it was prescribed by the 1999 Constitution as amended of the Republic of Nigeria. But what we are saying, in an appointment of such strategic or sensitive position, Mr. President has to be a competency test. Must have somebody who has a military background, somebody who has a security experience, somebody who is educationally qualified, somebody who is very intellectual, who is disciplined. You cannot give an office of a minister of defense like as a political settlement. You have to take it as a national duty. Mr. President have promised that there's going to be he's going to secure this country, that every state must be protected. So Mr. President now has found somebody who is equal to the task, somebody who is a professional, somebody who can discharge the duty eloquently and also in true a professional way. So Mr. President have to do that. And looking at also the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, work directly with the two ministers.
Yeah.
So there are going to be a personality clash. You understand? Because before, when he was a Chief of Defense Staff, he took some orders or command from the two ministers.
That's right.
Now he has now become the senior minister.
Yes.
Then the junior minister, that the Minister of State, there may be a personality clash. Mr. President should either replace him or remove him or also post him to another ministry. But there should be a minor cabinet reshufflement.
Okay. A viewer has called in. Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in and holding on a bit.
Thank you. Good morning, Uncle Yori, and
Good morning,
to the doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, this appointment is, like you described it, it's a round peg in a round hole. And the majority of the people I've spoken with since yesterday are saying the same thing. So I expect a game changer in this appointment. The guest is talking about the Minister of State. I think from this new development, if what I'm hearing is anything to go by, there will soon be a kind of cabinet reshuffle. Maybe the president will use that opportunity to make the necessary changes as it concerns the Ministry of Defense. If you ask me, I will say the president should try one of these security experts we often listen to on radio and television to come and be the Minister of State for Defense. Let us try one of them.
Okay.
They are very good at talking it to see whether they can equally do it. It's one thing to talk it, it's another doing it. But what I would suggest to the new minister is that let there be a new approach. It is the military that should take the war to these criminals in the bush. Not we sitting down, then we attack, and then the security forces will repair. No, we are in a war. We're in a war with these criminals. That is why the president declared a state of emergency in security. So take the war to them where they are. They are the ones who should be on the run. I am so convinced, Uncle Yori, you know, we have been saying this thing. The military, our military, they have the capacity to push these boys. But why it has not happened is what I do not know. Attack them, take it zone by zone. We have 6 geopolitical zones, and about 4 of them are under heavy attack by these criminals. Take it zone by zone. Attack, surround them, and smoke them out from all directions in that zone. They will be running from one point to the other, and you follow them to the next zone. They will go. We can do it.
Okay. Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling in. The former Chief of Defense Staff and now Mr. President's nomination for the position of Minister, much has been said about his experience, so that he knows what he's doing. He also, I think the only matter is that he hasn't been involved in policy directly at that level. No doubt he would have been feeding the ministers. But that last, the viewer, he just called in and he didn't seem to have too much of a problem with so-called non-professionals heading up these specialist ministries. Because he said that maybe someone from, society could become the Minister of State for Defense. What do you think about that?
You see, it is always good for Mr. President in appointing a Minister of Defense or something to do with national economy has to get a professional, an expert on that field.
Okay.
You cannot get an accountant. The immediate past Minister of Defense is an accountant by profession. And being an accountant by profession, you cannot question his incapacity. You have to question his incapability in steering the office of Minister of Defense. Somebody who is in a public domain make a public statement that a bomb cannot penetrate in a forest. You know that he's inexperienced, because there is bunker buster and there is also earth-penetrating weapons you can use to penetrate underground in bombing this criminal hideout. So for Mr. President to appoint unprofessional, I think it is not good. Mr. President should get somebody who has a military background, who is a professionally. And on the issue of the policy, You cannot raise up to the rank of general that you can say you don't have managerial capacity or administrative capacity or you don't know what is policies. You must do some policy courses. Even at the level of Kuru or at the level of what do you call it? Some of their colleges here. So somebody who has read to the level of even colonel used to do some managerial courses. So he has the administrative capacity, he has the managerial capability to steer the affairs of the Ministry of Defense. I'm very optimistic that he's equal to the task.
Okay. You know, for a long time, we Nigerians, we've been echoing a thought that you just shared. Was it you or no? It was the viewer who shared the thought that, look, we've always known that our military are entirely, absolutely capable of doing the needful, but that they are hampered being a disciplined force. They are hampered by having to work with orders. And it seems to us that the orders, just for whatever reason, there would have been these reasons, were not coming. So nobody is going to act without the required order. But now we have the president fully loaded to get on top of this problem. Now we have someone who has the technical know-how to do so. So it looks as if these are different times, and one would fully expect that changes will be made. But, and here's the question I wanted to bring to you. I hope we don't have a situation where Nigerians are over-expecting. These bandits have been among us for so long, and they might be expecting that, oh, with the arrival of retired General Christopher Amusa, in 2-3 days, all of that is going to become history. So I guess whereas he does have his work cut out for him, we'll probably have to be careful about that as well, right? For us to not be over-expectant. It's a delicate task.
You see, Nigeria are over-expected and they are also overwhelmed by the action of Mr. President to even remove the service chief and appoint new service chiefs based on his constitutional power as it is granted in Section 218, and also give the National Assembly in Section 219 powers to screen the service chiefs. With the new brand of service chiefs, with the declaration of the state of emergency on security by Mr. President last week, and with the also sudden appointment of Christopher Musa, who is the immediate past chief of defense staff, as a Minister of Defense, yes, Nigeria have a lot of hope that Mr. President is equal to the task, and also he has made a very nice decision. So the expectation is high. And because these criminals, both northwest, northeast, north central, even in the southern part of the country, have been disturbing the national security of this country. And looking at the size of the population, these criminals are not up to 1% or 0.5% of the total population of Nigerians. So Mr. President has made a very wise decision, and Nigerians are expecting more from Mr. President to tighten his belt and do the needful.
Okay.
Because this is the right time.
Okay,
Mr. President has done it, and we know he can do it.
Excuse my interrupting you. Ade in the UK has been waiting to join the program. Go ahead now, Ade in the UK.
Good morning, Mr. Yori and your guest.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling.
Mr. General Musa, there's something that is surprising me about the man. I check on the social media, everybody has positive messages for this man. There must be something special about this man. I love the man too much. And look at the president got it right. This is the first time I'm seeing a retired army officer got appointment in less than 3 months after leaving office. After leaving office. Can you imagine? So God has a plan for Nigeria. Everybody loved this man. When this man was there, the security situation was better. But immediately he left, you can see what is happening. So, General Musa, I wish him good luck, and I pray for our president, for God to be giving him more and more wisdom like this. You know, in fact, I don't know what to say. I just love this guy.
Okay.
He's a very prayerful someone. So I want Mr. President to consider in the next reshufflement, I want Yori to be Minister of Information. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Let's keep it serious. Mr. Ade in the UK, thank you very much for calling in and sharing your thoughts on Mr. President's nominee. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still have the hurdle of the Senate hearing to scale. I mean, we're all smiling now, and we seem to be happy. But it can't happen without the Senate, weighing in on the matter and saying, approved, Mr. President. I guess most of us are taking that for granted. We're not being reckless, are we, Alhaji Shinkafi? We're not being reckless, are we, in assuming that the Senate is going to approve Mr. President's proposal?
Nominee.
Yes.
Yeah, with his versatile experience and his rich profile, the Senate will do everything humanly possible to hasten his screening and also consider his nomination as required by Mr. President. Because with the present security situation at hand, we need somebody to step in as a matter of urgency. A minister of defense in any country is a very sensitive and very strategic position. So the vacuum should be filled as soon as possible. With the following resignation of the former Minister of Defense, Mr. President has no time to waste, and including the members of the National Assembly. They have to screen him, consider him for the position, and approve his nomination, because he has a very rich CV, he's a very experienced and disciplined Army General, and is God-fearing. He's one of the military officers I've ever seen in my life who is God-fearing. He's a very devoted Christian and very disciplined. And very enterprising in terms of his relationship with people. So I also lay my voice that as a matter of urgency, the National Assembly should do everything humanly possible to hasten his screening and also approve his nomination as prescribed in Nigerian Constitution. Indeed.
If the retired general is listening to this, I'm sure he's going to be pleased with people recognizing hard work, the value of hard work, and all of this is now coming back in the attitude of the people. I'll take a quick break now. Do please stay with us. We'll be right back. General Christopher Musa, retired, who has been recalled, so to speak, by the president to take up the Ministry of Defense as its head. And, this is, everybody's happy with this. You hear people call in and say that, I've been looking at it and it's very unique, that hardly a bad word anywhere, not that I have even heard of it. And it's a bit unusual because we are a critical bunch, let it be said, we Nigerians. But everybody, it doesn't matter what side of the divide you're on, everybody has said that, Mr. President, this was a bull's eye for you. And where do you expect him to start from? Because the level of insecurity is almost at a haywire level. Where do you he really has his work cut out for him. Let one just put it that way.
Yeah, you see, with his present overspilling security situation in Nigeria is highly alarming. Most especially the adoption of the schoolgirls in Niger State, in Kebbi State, and also in Kwara State. Some worshippers were kidnapped. Even the killing of a brigadier general in Borno, it is highly disheartening and also highly alarming. So we need people who are very committed, people who are very serious, who are versatile in their field of professionality to handle the issue of the national security. It's not an issue of political settlement. I think this is the right time, Mr. President or any other president, to stop appointing politicians to occupy the office of Minister of Defense. Because some of them, as I have said earlier, doesn't have the managerial capacity, administrative capability, of the experience. Being a former governor does not give you a power or give you an experience to steer the issue of national security. So, Mr. President, if he's going to appoint people to occupy the position of Minister of Defense, should either be somebody who has a military background or somebody who has served in other state security service or somebody who has been a police, somebody who has a security experience. Not people who just think that they will be settled for political loyalty or for political settlement. This is the right time and the right direction, because looking at even what's happening in the southeast, issue of secession, oil theft, there is need for Mr. President to get somebody who's very serious person, somebody who's not corrupt, somebody who's got pairing. So looking at also the formation of the service chiefs, the present service chiefs are juniors to the present Minister of Defense.
Yes.
So they will respect him a lot, and they will also be very obedient to him. But when you have somebody who is a civilian, such respect and the working symbiotic relationship may not be found in some official communication.
Well, I don't know. I'm a bit concerned because there are those purists, democratic purists, who will say that, look, the military in all countries must be subject to the civil. It's a small point in the discussion that we're having now, the conversation we're having now. But it shouldn't be difficult for the military. In fact, the military itself has encouraged and has said from time to time, when the need arose, that they are fully loyal to the administration. President Bola Ahmed Tunibu is certainly no former military man, but that's the way the game is played. So I appreciate what you said, but I also wanted to speak for those who are saying that, the civilian is the boss in a democratic dispensation.
Yeah, you see, why the civilian is a boss? Because in a democratic government, it is guided by constitution, not by decree. So the constitution of Nigeria or any democratic government have clearly spelled out the role of the military, the role of police, the role of paramilitary, the role of the judiciary. So the president is the commander-in-chief of armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or in any democratic government. So order comes from the chief C&C, that's the commander-in-chief armed forces. And for a military to work in a democratic government, he must be submissive or loyal to that democratic government. And he must also to uphold the letters of Nigerian constitution, and also to make sure that he take an oath of allegiance, an oath of office, that he's going to uphold the territorial integrity of and the sovereignty of that nation. So a military has its own role to play, while a democratic government is guided by constitution. But if it is guided by decree, it is something else.
Yes, no more. Hopefully never again. We've gone through that.
We are not praying for that.
Yes.
We don't pray that.
Hopefully we have used it to grow. And General Musa has certainly been part and parcel of, for the past 3 decades he's been soldiering. In fact, I'm reading here that a long time ago, he actually received the Colin Powell Award for soldiering. So, from time to time, we hear about some individual being a soldier's soldier. So being a soldier is one thing, but being a soldier's soldier means that you are a thoroughbred. And a lot of people think of him like that. I have no doubt myself that the way the gentleman has conducted himself, he's one of the good ones. Not that I could identify any bad ones.
You are right.
I couldn't identify any patterns, So Nigeria seems to be in for a refreshing time. in as much as, battling these criminal elements, terrorists, secessionists, people who want to break away, in as much as that can be called fresh material. Well, General Musa seems to be the man, because the president has said that in his letter to the Senate, that he has full confidence in General Musa's capacity to lead the defense ministry at this critical juncture. So it goes back to the declaration of the emergency by the president. This is indeed a critical juncture, and he's expecting General Musa, retired, to do justice to the role. And from all accounts, yourself included, you said that this is a good one, and you haven't said so, but I'm guessing that you also have no doubt, like the president, that this man can deliver. But we have to be careful. I've said that for the second time today. We have to be careful so that we don't become guilty of over-expecting and expect the man to finish all of Nigeria's security problems in 1 week.
You see, I want to sincerely commend Mr. President for taking a wise decision at the right direction.
Okay.
I have no doubt in Mr. President's decisions, and I have also have to throw my weight behind the decision of Mr. President, that I have no doubt General Musa is one of the goodies, and he's going to deliver, and the expectation by the grace of Almighty God will come to reality. We are going to get a desired objective. But what I'm calling Mr. President is to abolish the office of Minister of State, to allow General Musa to take charge of the national security in the Ministry of Defense. And to formulate the policy and make sure that all the money being appropriated or allocated from the national budget are judicially used. And also the duties of the military and the security agency should match with the performance of the security agencies in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria.
So indeed.
It's highly celebrated. But there is a general view of Nigerians that Mr. President should either replace Minister of State for Defense, or remove him, or sack him, or either change him to another, post him to another ministry. That's the general opinion. It's not my own personal opinion. But Mr. President should listen to the general opinion of Nigerians in that regard.
Indeed. But it's a delicate one, but then I suppose we are talking that way because we are just members of the public. When presidents have to take these kind of decisions, they don't squirm. They don't squirm over such decisions. They do what is necessary. And I'm sure that the president is going to be looking at this matter because it occurs to even those of us that are not part of the system, the military system, the policy system, that, well, with Matawale having at one point been in a ministerial capacity, albeit Minister of State, and General Musa retired as he was then. Well, he still is retired, but he was answering to both the minister and the Minister of State. But today, the thing has changed. And in the army, I don't know that, yes. In the army...
the table have turned down. The table have turned down.
The table has turned.
So so there will be a personality clash.
Well,
there will not going to be a good synergy in working with two of them. So Mr. President should either change ministry for him or remove him. That is the simple way to abolish the office of Minister of State for Defense.
Because
he's deputizing for the minister.
Well, again, the president, in his wisdom, knew of this very situation. He knew and would have considered it, no doubt, and then went ahead and did the needful, has appointed General Musa. And that suggests to me that Mr. President also has a game plan for the point that we are addressing. He himself is aware. It won't be that because of what we are saying is how it has come to him. So looking at Mr. President's past record, I know that Mr. President already has that particular that particular problem cracked. It's just a matter of announcing it. If, as you say, because you've demanded it forcefully about 2 or 3 times, that, look, remove the Minister of State, sack him, post him somewhere else, Well, all of that is to one side. A lot depends on what the president is going. He himself, if he agrees with all of this, might indeed want to move on. But I don't think I want to go there. You can, of course, because we invited you to hear your views, and you have gone there. But one doesn't know what President Tunibu is going to come up with. You don't really know. He has constantly surprised us in a pleasant way sometimes, with the moves that he has made. I referred to how he found the replacement for the INEC the other time. That was very quickly done, so much so that it cost a lot of us nothing. Now he has done this. Within how many days of the announcement, he has a full-fledged replacement in the works, and all other things being equal, I think the Senate is scheduled to consider it very, very shortly, if not today or something like that. Because this is what National Assembly this time, of course, totally democratic organization, but it is going to move with military dispatch on this one and let Nigerians know that we are on the same page with the president. Elizabeth in Lekki, good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you.
I'm old mama. I just want to say, please help us pass to General Musa. This Nigeria now is new Nigeria, to take it back to old Nigeria. During old Nigeria, we take our bus from Yaba to Abuja to Port Harcourt in the middle of night, and we arrive safely. Nigeria, go padà sí old Nigeria, that we can walk in the middle of night, 12,
yes.
1, we stay. We don't fear. All our children abroad, they can't come home now. They are afraid.
They're afraid.
If they don't get somebody to escort them, they can't come. Please let them come home. Let them come home. This one is much. Please help us, Mr. Yori, to General Musa. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mama. Thank you very much. Dr. Shinkafi, well, you heard that. That's one of the most important comments because we often hear that the first duty of any government is the security of its people. And that mama who has said that she's an old mama, never mind old mama, she's a mama and she speaks for the conscience of the nation. There was a time, she refers to it as the old Nigeria, when it was relatively safe. There was a nightlife, if that was your thing. But now, things are different. And she wants a return to those comfortable times. That's why I said that. She said, you see, she didn't send us to the president. She sent us to General Musa. Say, tell General Musa for me, an old mama here wants her children to be able to visit Nigeria without the fear of being kidnapped. You see that the general has his work cut out for him.
There is high expectation from General Musa if he assumes office. Because of his very hardworking and very well-experienced military officer. So that's why people are excited, it's well celebrated. And there's high expectation on him. And that is why we are calling on Mr. President to make that manner reshuffle and accommodate people who are able to steer the national security and national economy in this country. Mr. President has a track record, is a game changer. Mr. President knows how to play his joker. So we're very optimistic and very sure that Mr. President is going to nail this criminal down. We are very sure that Mr. President is going to stand still. He has a very good team now. With the new chief of service chiefs, with new also Minister of Defense, I think Mr. President, and also the declaration of the state of emergency on security, and directed military and police to recruit 50,000 security personnel, and with the forest guard coming on board. So it shows that Mr. President, he is very articulated, well organized, and very, very foresight.
Yes.
That is a good game changer. He's going to play his joker very well. You know how to score his ball more than Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo.
And combine that with Northern governors and their pledge to sort of reinvigorate their efforts as well. Something about ₦1 billion a month per state, that kind of a thing. All of this hopefully will help But when
the commitment of the northern governors in their meeting of last Monday in Kaduna, it is also a way forward.
It is.
Because why I was so encouraged with their commitment, because this 1 billion they are going to contribute for the security in the north will be deducted from the source. But if the money are to be limited through the states, I know it's a failed project. But because now I'm very sure with the commitment they have, then Northerner will have hope. But still the governors have to go back to their states and look for homegrown solution to work with Christopher Musa to tackle this insecurity in their various states. They have to go and look for homegrown solution. Poverty, how to fight poverty, unemployment, weak infrastructure, weak judicial system, bad governance, drug abuse, porosity of the border, proliferation of small and light arms in their various states. So they need to support the Mr. President. Mr. President have done the needful, giving them all the funds monthly to steer the affairs of their states. But some of them have been supporting this money, diverted this money for personal enrichment. So this is a time for action, not time for story.
I hope that those days that you are describing are over. And I think we're going to have to leave it here. But I think, one feels confident enough to say that mama that called in, for instance, she will have her matter addressed because we just need for the ordinary person to feel secure in this land. The ordinary person who can't afford to pay for security for their own personal security. Now that we know that the police are saying no more using the police for personal security, ordinary people, we didn't used to need security like that before. So these, I guess Nigerians are happy with Mr. President for nominating General Musa retired as his Minister of Defense. Thank you very much, Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi, Executive Director of Patriots for Advancement of Peace and Social Development, for coming on the program and sharing your insights on this national concern subject matter. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Yori Folari.
All right, sir.
I salute you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so that's where we're going to have to leave it today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari.